Here we go now.
Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Friday. Don't forget, we will be live tonight for our special Valentine's Day dating live that we've been doing the last couple of Fridays. I won't be doing this every Friday, y'all. I like to have a life. Okay. But I did promise you guys that we would go live and do a special Valentine's Day live this evening, probably like around 8 p.m., 9 p.m. Eastern. So stay tuned for that. If you missed it, yesterday we were live with Taria Faison from the What Else Is Going On podcast, breaking down some of the accusations that former reality TV stars of Carlos King had to say about him. So be sure to check that out. I pinned it in the YouTube live chat. Shout out to our King's Guards. Shout out to our channel members. I will be dropping the calling link for channel members first because I will be taking some quick callers. I can't be here long because, look, busy Friday and I have to be live a little bit later on this evening. So I got a lot of things to get done today. So if you haven't already, be sure to like the video. It's easy and it's free. Today's a live recap and just tea spill of Married to Medicine and what's going on over there is brought to you by our friends over at Factor Meals. On a busy day like today and yesterday, Factor Meals makes eating well and eating great, meaning good quality food, easy. With 2 minutes, they make it so easy. And you know we've partnered with them before and we love their food. And some of you guys have tried them out and you've said, I actually like the food. The food is the most important thing. I like to eat healthy. I like to try and do better, but I also want to make sure that what I'm eating, I'm enjoying, okay? So our friends over at Factor say, ready to optimize your nutrition this year. It's still, look, for those that have started a nutrition plan or you want to start one, it's not too late. It's only February, okay? And happy Black History Month. Factor has chef-made gourmet meals that make eating well easy. They're dietitian approved and ready to heat and eat in 2 minutes so that you can fuel right and feel great no matter what life throws at you. Okay? So, of course, we've gotten you a discount. Eat smart with Factor. Get started at factormeals.com/factorpodcast and use code FACTORPODCAST to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. That's code FACTORPODCAST at factormeals.com/factorpodcast to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. More information on Factor, our sponsor for today, will be available in the description. Okay? All right. Married to Medicine. I know we haven't had Married to Medicine because it was the Super Bowl last Sunday, so there was no new episode of Real Housewives of Potomac or Married to Medicine, but that hasn't stopped the Married to Medicine things that have been happening and the shade that's being thrown and the YouTube lives that have been had. As you know, Dr. Heavenly has had her YouTube live recaps for years now at this particular point. Since Sweet Tea has been on the show, she has gotten into doing this as well. I'm surprised none of the other women on the show do it, but I think this was smart of Sweet Tea. And it should be noted, Sweet Tea does have a full-time job outside of reality television and her YouTube channel. And a lot of people said it was smart because she needs to get her side out there as opposed to the other women. And I do feel like the other women of Married to Medicine are probably a lot more united amongst each other for the sake of the show and their checks, more so than including Sweet Tea in that sort of, I'm going to use this loosely, sisterhood. or some people might say Mean Girls Club. So there's been a long history, if you've been following Married to Medicine, about Mariah being pushed out, then Quad was being pushed out, supposedly the last couple of seasons. But now Quad has gotten into the fold. You also know that this upcoming week's episode that's airing on Sunday is going to show a fight between, well, I don't know if I should even call it a fight. If one person's not fighting back, is it really a fight? Between Dr. Gregory and King. I told you, if you've been watching our Married to Medicine recaps, I feel like Quad has been sort of egging King on, dropping little things to kind of get him riled up. Based off the edit. I have to always say that because we're watching an edited show. But based off the edit, it feels like Quad has been sort of like putting little things in King's ear. The last episode we recapped, a lot of people had strong feelings about who started what. Was it inappropriate for Quad to be talking to Dr. Gregory and his wife about pregnancy when she knows that they have a fertility, challenges? Okay. We also have to keep in mind, Quad was very drunk. If you could tell, I'm one person that can't tell when someone's drunk, but Quad was drunk and I could tell. So she's, if I didn't take her seriously, and I wouldn't have taken her seriously. Dr. Gregory's response felt a little harsh in the moment. Again, we're watching an edited show. Quad could have said more. But maybe he felt triggered. Maybe he felt triggered for his wife. I didn't like the way that Dr. Gregory was talking to Sweet Tea in that moment, trying to shut her up. Mind you, you're the one engaging and riling this up. Here I go twerking on a fence, okay? Because I can see both sides, because I feel like both sides have valid points. I didn't like the way that Dr. Gregory spoke to Sweet Tea. I didn't like the fact that Dr. Gregory, I forgot what his exact words were. I didn't like the way he spoke to Quad. But Quad was very drunk. And she was saying things like, oh, I could throw your baby shower and this and that. And she's talking about her sex life. Toya was just like, I think that really bothered Gregory. Sweet Tea did not want to own that. She's like, no, I don't think that bothered him at all. Do you think that Dr. Gregory was bothered by Quad talking about her sex life 15? I don't even know if I even believe Quad about 15 times a week in regards to her. Maybe in the beginning, but I still don't think I believe 15 times a week. Dee Dee says a drunk younger, I don't know what you meant by that, speaks truth, meaning that someone, when they're drinking, sometimes speaks their truth. Probably. Natural says Dr. Gregory doesn't know how to speak to women, period. Which, and I get it. And some of you say, Kempire, you can't forget that Dr. Gregory, even though he's a therapist, he's still human. Yes, but you shouldn't be this easily triggered, especially being a psychiatrist. And Natural saying that Dr. Gregory doesn't know how to speak to women, and you're a psychiatrist? Natasha says he was absolutely pissed. Rachel says he was bothered. Clearly, especially because of his reaction. And he needed to go take a walk. He was taking out his anger both on Quad and then on his own wife, and then went back to the room and was just like, I need to go take a walk. And she's like, why am I getting all of this backlash? Why am I getting your heat? What did I do wrong? I'm defending myself in that moment, and you're turning this on me. Well, we're going to continue to talk about this. I'm not going to delve. I'm just giving you a little background, reminding you what we talked about in the last recap of Married to Medicine, because we're going to rehash a lot of this again this week, because this is when the physical altercation comes. I saw that Dr. Heavenly spilled that, I think she was on Sherelle's World, and she spilled that there were charges filed. I'm assuming Dr. Gregory filed charges against King. I have to see how this all plays out to see how this even transpired. But like I said, remember, I was telling you the last few weeks, I felt like Quad was getting in King's ear, riling him up. But I'm surprised that King didn't say something to Dr. Gregory when he was cursing at Quad. But maybe he did, and it was edited out. So it makes us look at him like he's a punk. And I'm playing. Am I? Let me take a sip. As you can see behind me, I have our friends from Rose Forever still. My office smells delightful, okay? Between my incense and my Rose Forever, my office smells delightful. The studio smells delightful. But we still have a discount code for you guys. Kempire20 for $20 off of Rose Forever. Get you something. It's not too late. Again, side chicks, you don't celebrate today.
Shut up! That is so stupid.
You're not gonna see your side chick or your situationship today. And for those that are ghosting your person that you've been talking to, you're ghosting them today because you're like, I don't want us to, think that it's anything deeper than what it is. And you might get them some flout because that's how some of y'all do. You gaslight. We're not that serious. We're not together, but I'll get you roses and more information on Rose Forever and roses that will last you at least a year will be available in the description. We're going to talk about that tonight. If you got a story about it, I want to hear your Valentine's Day stories and your situationships. Stay tuned for tonight, okay? Foxy says no roses for them. Happy Valentine's Day, guys. Anyways, back to Married to Medicine. So you saw the title of this video and Phaedra. So Phaedra, let me actually bring these photos over that I wanted to. This is why I end up being late, guys, because I'm always thinking, oh, I need to add this. I need context. I need context for this. I need this, and this, and this. So that's the only that's the reason why a lot of times I'm late. I'm not just sitting here twiddling my thumbs, y'all. I am usually trying to oh no, they're going to want to see this or hear this. So that's part of the reason why. So Phaedra was noticeably absent from the, hold on, let me go here. Noticeably absent from the reunion seating. Because now Bravo, when they have a reunion, they will make the reunion seating available. Maybe because I think I forgot what reunion it was. It was a few reunions ago. I think it might have been Atlanta, where they leaked the reunion seating chart. Someone behind the scenes. Now it's caused glam. They're on lockdown during these reunions, so they can't even spill tea like they used to. Asawi, I love you. So now they released the reunion seating. So we got to see the reunion seating. Okay, I'm going to show it to you here if I can pull it up. Here we go. So this is the reunion seating. So Phaedra was noticeably absent from the reunion. And a lot of you had asked me, do you think Phaedra would show up to the reunion? I honestly thought she would. I didn't see that Phaedra had anything. Again, we don't know how the reunion, we don't know how the season ends. So maybe watching the season and seeing Phaedra leave the show, we already knew that she was going to abruptly leave the show. Maybe that will be that will give us more clarity as to why Phaedra would not show up. But Phaedra was in New York, so that's why I'm really shocked that she didn't show up to the reunion, because she posted this on her Instagram the day of the reunion saying, "I know you're sick of me. Unfortunately, there's no medicine for obsession." Wow. Here's the thing. We talked about Karen Huger being missing from the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion and not showing accountability. I really don't care. I feel like Phaedra is such a non-factor to Married to Medicine. I think once we see the rest of Married to Medicine, whether or not it would be important for her to be there or to show accountability or to, confront these women instead of running away. I don't know if I take this as running away. I take this as you brought nothing last season. You really haven't brought anything this season except a fake boyfriend. So I'm just shocked that she's not there, but she's in New York. And she might be in New York for Real Housewives of Atlanta stuff. She showed up on Real Housewives of Atlanta this season, full time, the last couple of weeks of production. We all know that this was her end game. She always wanted to return back to Real Housewives of Atlanta, Real Housewives in general. But she wanted to return to Real Housewives. Okay? Speaking of Phaedra, if you missed our Carlos King expose yesterday, you missed a lot with Taria Faison. Be sure to check out that video. All right? But yeah, so she says, "I know you're sick of me. Unfortunately, there's no medicine for obsession." Look, no one's going to take away from Phaedra what she's added to Real Housewives of Atlanta, some iconic moments, even recently with the Traitors. But again, this doesn't change the fact that I feel like Phaedra doesn't give us anything in regards to her personal story. And do I think that, one of my biggest things I always say, you don't have to have a storyline if you have a great personality. that's not necessarily for Phaedra, because I feel like Phaedra, in a lot of what she does, yes, we have some funny moments from her, but I can only take so much of this. Oh, yes. Yeah. You want to know my story? You're not going to get it. Like, I can only take so much of that. You know what I mean? Like, her personality is so, it's almost like Elisa Barlow. So inauthentically herself, like, we're never going to ever get the truth from her. But it might be worse, because I feel like we do get no, I feel like Lisa Barlow's truth is very surface until this last reunion where she talked about her family stuff. The Girls Club says, she's right. I am sick of her. Yeah. Oh, Frankie says she likes lesser intelligent co-stars, so she went back to RHOA. I mean, when you say it like that, I'm like, Look, Well, some people speculate that she was intimidated by the women of Married to Medicine because they are smart, because they clocked her tea. Maybe, and they are, if equally successful or more successful than she is. Maybe. But again, I don't have such a strong reaction to Phaedra not showing up. I am a little surprised, especially because she is in New York. I am a little surprised that she wouldn't show up, because does it hurt? I don't know if she's still going to get paid for the reunion despite not showing up. But I'm like, okay, I could care less. What exactly are we going to talk to Phaedra about at this reunion? I guess whatever happens between her and Apollo during these last few episodes of Married to Medicine. But for the most part, during the season, what are we talking about with Phaedra? I'll wait. Look, where's my hold on. Where's my crickets? Look. Oh, there we go. What are we gonna be? Come on, I'm asking you. So she could talk about Shake in that relationship that's so obviously fake. And I believe whatever her and Apollo had on Married to Medicine was also plotted and planned. I think he was in on it. He wanted an opportunity. I'm sure she paid him if Bravo didn't pay him. Look, come on. Come on, TN, don't come in here with the fake news. TN said that fundraiser check that bounced. It didn't bounce. She did post that on social media. Apparently, she also sent that check that she did pay in regards to the charity stuff. Maybe she didn't want to address that, the charity stuff, but she did pay it. And she sent the check to Andy Cohen as well. I guess maybe if the check bounced and that is what is revealed at the reunion, then the plot thickens. Now we're looking at phony Faye again. I don't think the check bounced. Look. Hawkeye says maybe she wasn't invited. Come on. No. No, she was definitely invited. Apollo's an opportunist. He wouldn't dare miss camera time. Do you think Apollo showed up for the reunion? That would be so lame. Apollo's there, but Phaedra's not. But he's like, I'm going to get paid regardless. Okay. Love Sexy, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate the support. Guys, don't forget you can support the channel just by liking today's video. We're doing a quick live. I am going to drop the call-in link for members first on the community tab. Shout out to our members. We appreciate your monthly support. Let me do that now before I forget. Shout out to everyone watching on Twitch and Twitter as well. I have you guys all hidden behind the scenes here. Hey, Miranda. Miranda's watching on Twitch. I hear it's very, we stream in 4K, so I heard it's actually really, really great quality on Twitch for those that want to watch on Twitch. All right, so if you're a member of the channel, I'm going to just post the link now so I don't forget before I get into actually the crux of everything that I want to talk about in regards to Sweet Tea, because I also believe that Sweet Tea is being alienated out of this group, and she's been giving us signs, she's been putting out feelers that she might not return next season. I think based off of her recent live, I don't think she's coming back. And I think the Mean Girls, I'm going to just say it because they've done this. They've had a pattern of doing this. They did it with Mariah. They did it with Quad. Quad, like a real Taurus, worked her way around it and still has survived to be on the show. I don't know how she's done it, but she's done it. Okay. But I do feel like they're alienating Sweet Tea from the group. And look, you know how I feel about Sweet Tea. Like, I'm up and down with Sweet Tea. Like, I don't always agree with her, but I do believe that they are alienating her from the group. And we've said it, like, she doesn't seem to fit in with this group. But the fact that they're alienating her out of the group, I don't know if I agree with that either. It's one thing not to fit into the group, but it's another thing to be pushed out yet again by these women. Okay. All right. Hey, Vicky. Vicky's watching on Facebook. Vicky always watches on Facebook. Shout out to our Facebook crew. We appreciate you guys. All right. All right. So if you're a member of the channel, I did drop the call link for you guys on the community tab. Let me get to my video evidence. Okay. So, and look, I don't disagree with Sweet Tea here. Aren't you a little surprised when people pointed out that Dr. Heavenly, after making jokes about Sweet Tea's infertility, that Dr. Jackie decided to bring her to the White House to talk about maternity, mortality, and things about infertility. We also talked about Chrissy Teigen being there, but I've digressed. The White House is the White House, and it is what it is, okay? So let me just play that clip for you because she talks about this in a Sheen interview.
Mother's mortality rate.
Okay.
What were your thoughts on that?
I think that is a conversation that needs to be had with the mother's mortality rate, but also I think that they may have chose. I don't quite understand why. I'm trying to be nice. I don't have nothing nice to say. My mama said, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. But why? My thing is, why would you take someone that really does not support reproductive health and will make a joke out of it to the White House? Like, that don't even make sense. I don't understand. I find it very weird. Like, why would you choose, like, Jackie, why would you choose Heavenly to go?
Pause. Some people have said they're not sure why the White House chose Dr. Jackie because the controversy of some of the damaging things that Dr. Jackie said in an old video that resurfaced during last season on Dr. Heavenly's channel, people wondered, why would they invite Dr. Jackie? Again, why did they invite Chrissy Teigen? Anyways.
I don't understand that. It's a little weird. Like, why would you do that? Like, that's just, especially when you said that she said in the episode that she was for reproductive health.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can get the videos out and show, like, that this person ain't for reproductive health, and I think that's a bunch of BS. I just think, like, why would you take someone that really doesn't represent that? And, you know, my question is the White House, like, why, you know, they're not doing, you know, y'all not vetting these people that's coming in the White House. Y'all letting
She said, y'all not vetting these people that's coming into the White House. You see what's in the White House now?
anybody in there at this point.
How do you feel about those three women going to the White House talking about the reproductive health and mother's mortality rate when you're dealing with what you're dealing with trying to have a baby?
But, you know, I haven't heard from nobody. Nobody's really checked on me and said, hey, you know, how's the fertility journey going? None of that. You know, I think that it'll only be relevant unless I'm, like, on the show. And I think that if I were to get pregnant on the show, then all of a sudden I think things would change and people would gravitate themselves.
So that when I first saw that clip, a week ago, I was like, oh, it sounds like she's not seen these women since the season ended and that she hasn't been in communication with them. Well, she talks about that in a recent video as well. We'll get to that in just a second. So that was the first clue for me that I was like, oh, so things are not good with Sweet Tea and the entire cast. The entire cast. Let's take a look back at this reunion seating chart because it's important to look at this. Because the video that Sweet Tea did before this reunion caused a little backlash for her from Toya. But if you look at the seating chart, she's seated right next to Toya. Because Toya took a jab at her during on her Instagram story ahead of this reunion. Some people are interested to see the seating chart because they're also like, why is Dr. Heavenly all the way at the end? I think very much like Candy, when Candy would always be at the end, people think the worst. I don't think that means anything, especially right now, because I think if anything, Phaedra probably would have sat next to Heavenly. Okay, so I think that's the only reason why. Okay, but And of course, Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone, they always sit next to Andy Cohen. Again, why is Andy Cohen hosting a show, a reunion show of a show he's not a producer of? Whatever. Bravo. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I never will. But I'm going to always point it out because it doesn't make sense. Anyways, Teresa says, why is Jackie sitting next to Andy? They always have Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone. They're supposed to be the medicine in this show. They're the OGs. Yes, I know. I don't even pay too much attention to Married to Medicine seating chart like that because it doesn't make rhyme or reason most of the time. Okay. But I did find it interesting that Sweet Tea and Toya were sitting next to each other. And I get it. They probably thought about this before what played out on social media between these two. So let me play for you the clips from what Sweet Tea had to say on Toya and Toya's plot and plan against Quad.
They have a group chat that they say, hey, this is what we're going to do. You know, we're going to stick together because we want to start this and we're going out with it together. And I think that's really what it is. You know, because it's times that Toya has talked to me about, like, the things her and Simone said they were going to do. And, you know, and so, you know, they have, that's them. That's their little group. That's what they do. And so, you know, when I came into it, I didn't feel like Toya, she really wanted me to go to war with Gregory's ex when I didn't know her. You know, she wanted me to go to war with Gregory's ex when I didn't know her. I was like, I don't understand why, because I don't know her. Why would I be upset? There's no reason to be upset, and there's no beef. And like, everybody has to keep in mind that Gregory has always had a friendship, an open line of communication with the men. You know, golf trips they go on and everything. So it was very natural for me to meet his friend circle's wives. And, you know, and to tell you the truth, even when we were around certain things and I was meeting them, the ex was nowhere to be found. You know, that never was an issue. So it never was that I came into her group of friends, because let them tell it, she was never a friend to them.
Okay. Hold on. I want to answer this because y'all know. Latoya says, we like Andy though. What's the beef with that? It's not any beef. Let me just say something to you, especially when we're talking about DEI and we're talking about representation and having people sit at the table when having very complicated conversations about Black women or Black women in pregnancy. You're having this man as the overseer of these conversations. We've seen countless examples of it being problematic having him seated at that table. That's why it's important. That's why representation, when you're a moderator, is important. This is not about, oh, I want the position. No, put a Black woman in that position. You know how many NBC Universal Black talent could be sitting in that seat that don't get those opportunities? Just saying. It's Black History Month. And mind you, I'm assuming this is a Black woman saying this. Just saying. Anyways, back to this. So after this clip went viral on social media, Toya posted this on her Instagram story. So I just want to highlight what she says. So she reposted this on her Instagram story and says, please don't lie on me. I rebuke your kind of crazy. What? Okay. She says, please don't lie on me. I rebuke your kind of crazy. These sob stories are a lot for all of us because they're this is just painting the narrative that Sweet Tea just has been going on her YouTube channel, complaining, playing the victim, and things like that. So she puts hashtag married to medicine. And then she ats the real Sweet Tea. Says, baby girl, just distance yourself if everyone is so horrible to you. Hashtag I tried. Okay. So I thought this was interesting that because we haven't really seen Toya talk about Sweet Tea publicly. And we have seen, do I believe that Toya had other intentions when Sweet Tea came on here? Because you have to remember, when Sweet Tea came on, Quad and Toya were not in a good place. Do I picture Toya probably like, yeah, girl, I'm going to support you because I don't like her? I could see that. Okay? I can see it. But at the same time, I can't get away from the pattern of behavior that we've seen on Married to Medicine, in which these women gather together against other people to push them off the show. So for me, I'm looking like, oh, is everyone's against Sweet Tea? But is everyone against Sweet Tea because of what she's been saying about them on her YouTube channel? Sidebar, I forgot to talk about this, but this is one of the videos that she posted out there. She called Dr. Jackie a Trump supporter. I was like, just randomly listening, and I was like, where'd that come from? And how do you know that? Oh, that's what she said it on her YouTube channel. That's what she said. I was like, oh, okay. So this is why I was so surprised that Toya was seated right next to Sweet Tea. But it's fine. I'm sure that's mainly their own issue. In this video, though, Sweet Tea makes it seem as if she may or may not be at the reunion. Clearly, she did show up to the reunion. That's a nice check. When you get to the reunion, you get like a bonus for that. I'm assuming it's the same for Married to Medicine. So, oh, damn, Special K, stop. Special K says, Kempire, get her off my big screen. Come on. So she's sharing things that I'm not completely sure is based in fact, because I don't know how close she is with these women to know any of that. Okay? Some of y'all are a mess in the chat. Yeah, exactly. Which is why I was surprised. Tyrese says she seemed to support Kamala Harris. You would think, right? That's why I can't take everything that Sweet Tea says as fact, because she says some things and I'm like, first of all, I'm not sure you're even around these women to know their political affiliations. Like, where's the proof in that? So this is why I say all this to say she could say a lot on her YouTube channel, and it could be truth because we've seen a pattern of behavior from these women where they're alienating people. But we can also see there's some information like, how would you know that? Because remember, again, pattern of behavior. Dr. Heavenly has said, I was not close with Sweet Tea like that to tell Sweet Tea that I believe that Dr. Damon, what Mariah said about Dr. Damon was the truth. I'm giving you a pattern of behavior. I know you're probably thinking, Kempire, what side are you on? I'm on my side. I don't know these people. And we're watching an edited show. Come on. I'm just giving you the facts of the situation. Okay? Anyways, I say all that to say there's more in regards to this video, because I did watch this video that she did. It wasn't a long video. So she says that about Toya. I do believe Toya probably wanted Sweet Tea to go up against Quad. I believe that. Okay? But at the same time, Sweet Tea, there's got to be a level of accountability. And I'm a grown woman that decided to come on the show, because one of the other things that she's been saying in multiple videos is that they encouraged me to come on the show. They are the ones that brought me on this show. You are a grown woman that decided to come on this show. And I think this is buyer's remorse, because a lot of people that come on reality television think it's one thing and then they end up in it and they don't have any control of how they are depicted, and then they're like, oh, and then they're trying to make excuses for it. But Sweet Tea, you are a grown adult, seemingly very intelligent. You made that decision on your own. But okay. Let me play another clip from this interview. Well, not interview, conversation. All right. I thought this was interesting, and this is another example of why I think the women, all of the women on this cast, are not talking to her. Mind you, Mimi, she seemingly brought Dr. Mimi on the show. She didn't really bring her on the show, but it was supposed to be her friend. She probably could have used Phaedra at this reunion, because Phaedra's the only person that she seems to be getting along with on this cast. She probably could have used Phaedra's support during this reunion. But this is a reminder to anyone that's Phaedra's friend, she's never going to be there for you.
And then you come in to just use me and disrespect me. And I'm fair. Like, if I'm pregnant right now, they would literally be like, then they'd be off my ass. And it's just like, that's not genuine. I ain't heard from nobody. I spoke to Mimi a little bit. I don't really hear from her much, but we have talked a little bit. I saw Simone at the, what is it called, at her homecoming. The Morehouse and the Spellhouse homecoming. I saw her there. And the interaction really wasn't that pleasant because she wanted to talk about what her man would do and this and that. And Grace.
Go back to my recaps when they were on the Hoedown show. With the Hoedown episodes when they were, roughing it. And I told you, I thought it was weird how Dr. Simone was trying to make excuses for Heavenly's behavior and telling Sweet Tea to kind of get over it and just move on. And this is how you deal with Heavenly. And I was like, this is weird, especially because Dr. Simone of any of the women know the history and have been through a lot of stuff with Dr. Heavenly. So I always thought that was weird, her interaction with Sweet Tea in this moment. But yeah.
The Morehouse and the Spellhouse homecoming. I saw her there. And the interaction really wasn't that pleasant because she wanted to talk about what her man would do with this and that and Greg's situation. Girl, I don't give a damn about what the hell Caesar would do. What the hell it got to do with me? It was just a mess. Like, honestly, it was giving ghetto. Like, it was giving ghetto, for real. I was just like, Simone, where does this come from? But
Teresa pointed out, Sweet Tea and Contessa are cool, right? Yeah, I'm assuming, but they're not friends. That was something else that came out on social media. Oh no, even on the show where Contessa and Sweet Tea, the Dr. Heaven was calling their friendship out, saying like they're not really friends. They have nothing in common. We shall see how the reunion plays out for Married to Medicine. She is seated next to Dr. Contessa, but Dr. Contessa is not going to be out there the entire time. Phaedra would have been out there the entire time. Kat, come on. Kat, come on. This is no shade, but this was funny to me. I looked down and I saw this comment. Kat says, girl, get your kitchen redone, joke. Stop. But what is Quad's involvement in all of this? What is Quad's ownership in all of this? Quad, I've told you this before. I didn't like some of the comments that Quad was doing last season when she was doing a press run and she was making fun of Sweet Tea. And I was like, this is not the way, Quad. Like, why are we, coming after Sweet Tea? But after this season, I'm tired of the Quad versus Dr. Gregory. It's weird. But some of people have said, no, Dr. Gregory and Sweet Tea belong on the show. Quad's not even Married to Medicine anymore. And, Dr. Gregory has a friendship with these guys. He has a real connection. That is true. But honestly, if Quad's off the show and we only have Sweet Tea and Dr. Gregory, Sweet Tea doesn't get along with these women. I don't feel like she has anything really, honestly, in common with these women. And Dr. Gregory is always weird. And the show is not about the husbands, even though, they play a big role. He's not interesting. He's a little weird. They're weird together, but I love that for them. Anyways, okay. Was there anything else that I wanted to say? I will have a lot more to say, though, during our weekly recap of Married to Medicine. This is a special update because I saw that Phaedra was a no-show, but despite being here in New York, she might be here for the Traders reunion. I don't know when they're filming that. Okay. And then I was like, we need to talk about that. And then I noticed a pattern that Sweet Tea seems to be alienated from the group. Cameron says, that's it, Kempire. T started with Quad first. Did she? I see a lot of people say that, but I'm like, where's the evidence that T started with her first? Because remember, when confronted about this, Quad didn't say that. Quad apologized. Remember that? All right, Tyrese, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate the support, guys. Don't forget to like the video. It's easy and it's free. I'm going to take some quick calls in just a second. If you're a member of the channel, I've dropped the call-in link on the post tab, formerly community tab. Tyrese, thank you so much for the super chat. Tyrese says, I think Heavenly deserved first chair. I mean, based off of the drama, but Heavenly knows they're not going to give her first chair. It's just what they do. It will always be Dr. Simone and Dr. Jackie until they're no longer on the show. I think they need to do some shakeups next season, though. They've got to do something next season. Hey, Miss Esquire, thank you for the super chat. She says, they encourage you to come come on, like like a crowd claps for a clown at the circus. Damn, you Virgos can read. People love a fool's entertainment, a court jester. The terrible part about this is when you see Sweet Tea's personality, it kind of gives that. But I'm sorry, Sweet Tea. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Miss Esquire, for the super chat. Candace, thank you so much for the super chat, and thank you both for being members. Candace says, I mean this with no disrespect. I want T to go away and heal. She looks defeated. She does, and she's probably being alienated by the group. That's probably what you're noticing. No one's in communication with her. She doesn't know what's going on. Tish, thank you so much for the super chat. Tish says Sweet Tea doesn't have the public speaking skills to keep up with them. They don't respect her or see her as a peer. They are elitist and used her to get quad activated and then discarded her. That is a perfect summary of what we're watching. They did use her. They did use her. And she said that she feels like they used her. Megan, thank you so much for the super chat. Megan says Sweet Tea's entire storyline is literally a Lifetime movie. Megan. Yeah. Thank you so much, Shamira. Shamiria? Brianna? Beautiful name and beautiful picture. Thank you so much for the super chat. She says, just wanted to show love, Kemp. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, guys, I cannot be here long because I have an appointment. And I'm glad I don't know anyone else. I don't know. I've had a headache the last couple of days. I'm like, what is going on? But I was traveling. So I was like, maybe it's that. I went to sleep. You ever laid on your bed? I'm just going to lay down for a bit. And then all of a sudden, it's the next day. Well, technically, it was the next day. I was like, oh my goodness, let me put on my pajamas. And I was tired after that Carlos King expose with Taria. Rahina, thank you so much for the super chat. Okay, she says, Kempire, can't wait to see you next Friday. Thank you for the reminder, Rahina. Guys, don't forget the Kempire After Dark live experience is returning to New York City next Friday, literally a week from today. Get your tickets today if you haven't gotten your tickets. There's also, exclusively for this show, a live stream option available. Go get your tickets for that right now. More information will be available in the description, along with our sponsors and everything else. Thank you, Rahina. We'll see you next Friday. You say you bring the husband? The husband? Okay. All right, let's get to our callers that are backstage. I dropped the calling for members only today, just because I'm limited on time. But if we get through, how many people we have watching? We got 1,400. If we get to 600 likes, I will drop the call link for the general audience. Okay? Mods, is that fair? You let me know. Natasha, behave yourself. I saw that comment. All right. Miss Bernice is backstage. You're going to bring Miss Bernice up. Miss Bernice, what's going on? Miss Bernice?
What up, though, everybody? What up, though? I got two things to say. The only reason that Phaedra went back to her opposition is gone. That was with Candy and Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
She ain't got nobody on the show that's gonna say anything about her or her past, so she got free range. Okay, going on to Sweet Tea. Unfortunately, Sweet Tea don't want to really admit that they used her and threw her to the side, because that means that they really didn't have any interest in investing in the person as in Sweet Tea, not the woman married to Greg. Okay, and Quad is playing a dangerous game because she's activating Shaba to go after Greg, and the best way to get Greg off that show is to get him into a physical altercation, which we're going to see next week.
How can you just say Shaba, Miss Bernice?
Shaba.
All right, Miss Bernice, thank you for calling in.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. It always catches me off guard when she says Shaba. I was like, because, King is Jamaican. All right, I'm Jamaican, so I don't take offense. Calm down. It's Miss Bernice. O'Shea's backstage. We're going to bring O'Shea up next. O'Shea, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire. How are you?
Oh, well, how are you?
I'm well, thanks. Yeah, no, I just want to say I really don't like the the outcasting of Sweetie.
Mm,
Because like you said, they've done this with Mariah, they've done this with Quad, and now they've done this with her.
mm-hmm.
And they do this like across the Housewife franchises. I mean, they did it with Monica, they did it with, well, LVP to some degree. And yeah, and I think a lot of it has to do with Andy being a weak manager or leader of all of them.
Mm,
He's supposed to be their boss. They are employees at a company. I mean, no matter it's a reality show, but like they're meant to be able to work with whoever's on the cast, not gathering together, shoving them off, and then that's why like newbies hardly last these days, and it's a lot of it has to do with the OGs that don't let new blood come on. And yeah, and I mean it's all well and good, but what's going to happen next season? Are we going to have the same fight between Heavenly, Simone, and friends on and on and on again? But yeah, that's just my 2 cents. Thanks, Kempire.
I just want to emphasize Andy is not the executive producer over this particular show, but he is someone that is a power player at NBC Universal,
Oh
no matter
yes,
how
yes,
people
yes.
want to view it. But I just want to, because I know there will be
Yes,
people that will be like,
yeah.
he's not the boss of them.
Of course,
He's a power position over there at Bravo. Hence why he's hosting this show.
definitely. But
Thanks,
thanks,
O'Shea. Take care. All right, we have Lee backstage. Going to bring Lee up next. Oh, hold on, Miss Esquire. Lee, what's going on?
Hey, how are you?
Alma, how are you?
I'm doing good. So, this is really um, what I've noticed about Married to Medicine is that they want new people, but they never keep new people. And
Mm,
the reason why they can't keep new people is because the core of this group are actually friends.
mhm,
So when they're trying to get newcomers in, it's like, okay, well, we don't really like her. We're not going to hang out with her. So,
mhm.
just toss them aside. I don't think that's right. And I think that they do it to especially young women. Like they did it to Audrey. They're doing it to Sweet Tea. I don't, not a Sweet Tea fan, but I can see wrong is wrong.
Yep.
And what I really think they need to do is a cash shakeup, and they need to involve other aspects of medicine, like maybe a nurse, maybe a
Mm,
medical salesperson. Like that would be so young and like fresh to the idea that you don't have to be a doctor to be married to medicine. There's so many
amen.
aspects to medicine. Yeah, like even my mom, she works in the medical industry. She's a coder, so that's married to medicine. She says she would never leave the hospital industry. She's married to medicine. So, you know what I mean? That would be so interesting to see like how those dynamics work. So
Lee,
I
but
know
don't
producers
can you
listen to the
imagine? I'm
show.
sorry to interrupt you, but can't you imagine
No.
if they did have someone that wasn't a doctor? These guys are such elitists that they do it to Dr. Heavenly. They did it to her first season.
Yeah, I think that is so true. But I would like to see maybe you take out a Dr. Simone or you take out a Dr. Jackie and you put in some fresh new medical talent. That would eat so bad. That would eat so bad.
Yeah.
So, who knows? I know producers listen to your show. So, cut us our check for that.
Just
But
saying.
that's it.
Thank you, Lee. Take care.
Bye. Talk
Bye.
soon.
Bye. Oh, that means Lee gonna call in tonight for our Valentine's Day special, right, Lee? Hmm. I wonder if Miss Esquire is gonna call in again tonight. Miss Esquire, what's going on?
Hello. Happy Valentine's
You
Day.
too.
I may call in. It depends on when my two little Valentines go to sleep
Oh.
tonight. But I wanted to call in because when you read my super chat, I was like, whoa, that sounds really harsh. And I did not mean it in the way that I think it came across.
Mm,
So I don't think that she's a clown. I
mm,
don't think she's a joke. I don't think she's a gesture. What I think is they think that of her.
mm,
And what I don't understand is if when you agreed to come on this show, you had to know that you were a part of a scheme that Ty sent up for them to come to you and for you to be the BS.
mm-hmm,
Like, so you thought these women were your friend. You thought they weren't just saying, hey, there's a really interesting storyline here that will provide entertainment and maybe take some of the pressure off of us to give story because you're going to be the new shiny thing. and we get to pretend that we're on your side because we have a common enemy in Quad who we're trying to ice out. But now that Quad is doing the thing that they wanted her to do, which is engaging more, they don't really have much need for Sweet Tea anymore.
Mm-mm.
And like the previous caller just said, very insightful. This is a group of women who are like a sorority who haze people semester after semester, and nobody crosses the line.
Mm.
Nobody actually crosses over into the chapter. They actually don't want new sisters in this sisterhood, but they
Mm.
do enjoy the process of hazing people.
Mm.
Um, I agree. It would be wonderful to see a shakeup of this cast because I'm in healthcare. Like I've been in healthcare my entire career, just about. There are a lot of great lawyers that are in healthcare. There's a lot of great tech startups in healthcare.
Mm.
There's so many different ways that that industry is fueled by Black women who are innovative.
Mm.
But this group of women will never allow that.
Mm.
And I know Dr. Mimi, like she's a fellow TSU grad.
Mm.
It's really funny to me that she came in through Sweet Tea, quote unquote, and not through Quad, because while Quad is a little bit older than her and graduated before her at TSU, they would know each other better than she and Sweet Tea, I imagine, would.
Mm-hmm.
But Mimi, to me, is more the future of what Married to Medicine has to offer. But she's not going to last either.
And
And
also the way that they edit this, it makes it seem as if Dr. Mimi brought nothing.
yeah, no, she's not. I mean, Mimi, I don't know her personally. I know her from our days at TSU. Gorgeous girl, always has been super sweet, super nice, and super smart.
Mm.
So she probably has a lot to offer. I would be, again, I don't think she gonna cross them burning sands just like nobody else did. And they can bring Tanya in, cross her over from Roe because she has the healthcare tech stuff. She wouldn't make it through. It They don't want new sisters in this sisterhood. They just want
Mm.
to haze people. And I'ma stand on that.
And also,
So
I believe that the same when it comes to production. They don't want quality television. They don't want quality reality people that are in that space on their reality show. They want people that are going to be
I think
drama.
they will if they will just be good accoutrement to the existing platter
Mm.
of what they think are the main dishes. And I think what Sweet Tea is realizing in a very painful way, and I don't take any pleasure in seeing her in pain, is that, oh, I thought these women were really welcoming in me in and I
Mm-hmm.
was gonna find community with them.
Yep.
And no, baby, they just wound your clock up in the back and put you on the floor to dance.
Yep.
And now that the battery is out your back because you're exhausted from it, they're no longer want to play with you. You're not the fun toy anymore.
Do you think that Sweet Tea should come back next season and very much like what you said and what Ali just said, they should add people that are of her age group in that field of medicine, and it because I just feel like it would be just just a continued behavior of what they've done, the other women on the show,
Yeah.
and now Sweet Tea is just sort of like thrown away.
I think it depends on if you want to be a reality star. If you want to
Mm.
be a reality star, then come back and play this game the way that it's meant to be played. Make your coins so
Mm-hmm.
that you can do whatever the hell you want to do, like Phaedra is apparently able to do. Like, I don't know how that's possible that she's missing this reunion and she cashing so many NBC Universal checks, but that's a read for another day.
Mm.
But you need to decide whether you want a life with your husband or you want a
Mm-hmm.
reality TV star career. Because if she wants the latter and not the former, yeah, come back. But if you
Yeah.
want the former, get as far away from these women as you possibly can. They're not going to do anything but make you feel worse about yourself.
And she's also trying to have a baby, so that can't be good for that process.
I mean, listen, my womb is in mint condition, so I don't speak on nobody else's, but I can't imagine it's good for you.
Right. Just saying. Okay, Miss Esquire, thank you so much for calling in.
All right. Talk to you later.
Have a good
Bye.
one. Bye. All right, we're going to take a couple more calls, guys, and then we're going to get out of here. But let me just say thank you because we had a couple of super chats. Jocelyn, thank you so much for the super chat. Super chat. Jocelyn says, can't wait until tonight's live camp. Me too. Me too. We're going to have a good time tonight, guys. If I haven't set up the link, I'll do that after this. But subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications. I will promote it on Twitter and Blue Sky and all the places. Love, calm, peace. Thank you so much for the super chat. Love, calm, peace says, King isn't all that. Let me know when she buys him veneers. Not what? Okay, let me bring up Tyler. Tyler.
I know that was vicious, but what I will say is, I just don't feel any sympathy for Sweet Tea. I
Okay.
don't. I think that those girls came to you and told you exactly what they wanted to do, that they don't like Quad and
Mm,
she's not a part of our group because you kind of said that they said, we don't really see her. That's not really our friend. And you thought you were going to come in and have your big moment and you lost. Point blank, period. You are a fan of reality TV. You have watched this show. And let's be real, you saw how all those ladies treated Quad from the first season, how they thought she was beneath them. What about you made you think that you were going to be treated any better? And I'll just
mm,
leave that one at that. I'm
mm,
not going to be mean and vicious, but let's just be real. Excellence to the buddy. But I feel like you knew exactly what you were doing, and the medicine was served right back to you. You and your husband, your wife, or whatever you want to call him, her, they or them, had the nerve to come on this show and think that y'all were going to shine and outshine Quad. Like Quad or not, she's very smart and she caught on.
mm.
Period. She's playing those girls. She is playing those girls. And I can guarantee you next season, once now that they have ousted Sweet Tea, even if Sweet Tea comes back, I bet you Quad is going to clock every last one of those girls. She's plotting and planning. Now, what I will say, Kempire, but in my opinion, you tell me how you feel. I actually think Quad is the one who should have left that show and went to Housewives of Atlanta. I could see her in the mix of what's currently going on. She actually hangs with Shamia and Portia,
Mm,
and you see Cynthia with her a lot off camera. It's all over her Instagram. I think what's going on with Housewives of Atlanta now is better suited for a Quad. I think
mm.
that they could have put her over there.
Yeah.
I'm interested in seeing how these girls, not saying that Quad makes the show. I do not think that Quad is the main thing that makes the show, but I
Mm.
do think she is an intricate part, to be fair.
Yeah.
But I would like to see how these girls work without anyone that they can bully. Are you going to try to pull up on Toya or what? What are you going to do? I would love to see Quad out the picture and over there at Atlanta. And
Mm.
I want to see how these girls can work because I think Quad can work in any setting.
Well,
I
now
really
with
do.
Phaedra returning from Phaedra coming on Married to Medicine and now going back to RHOA, there's now an actual connection between Quad and Phaedra. So that could easily happen too.
Yeah, and it honestly it makes perfect sense to me. I do think that it is time. I like Quad on TV, but I think that it's time for her to be around maybe another group of women, and I think that that makes perfect sense.
Mm,
Phaedra to me, even without Phaedra being over there, I still think Quad would be good. I just think
mm,
Phaedra, to be fair, I'm being honest. I think that they selected Phaedra because they were bringing her back to Bravo was a slap to me is deeper. It was a slap in Nene's face, in my opinion. Like, girl, we
mm.
don't want you. We're gonna bring her back, and you got nothing for it, nothing. So honestly, Phaedra,
And
they're
they quickly
overworking
settled
you.
with Nene.
Right now, you settle with her, but they're overworking you, and if you don't do good this following season, they're gonna bring you back down again. It's just, it's obvious. It's a plot, but that's
Oh,
all.
not a plot. Todd set up. Okay, thanks.
Bye.
Thanks, Tyler. Bye. I mean, look, I think Tyler has mentioned this before in regards to bringing Quad on RHOA. Very possible. I do think that Quad has entertained us over the years. I think that Quad is entertaining, but I also have seen how Quad no longer fits within this group. We saw it the last few seasons. I also don't think the only reason why Quad fits right now is because of the Sweet Tea and Dr. Gregory stuff. Other than that, she still doesn't fit in. And I do believe Quad wised up very quickly at the end of last season and said, I'm going to make nice with these folks. But Tyler brings up another really great point. Who are they going to focus on next season? And that's terrible that this is what it's become. It's like this hazing, mean girl behavior that we see on Real Housewives and on Married to Medicine. Reality television a lot, but I see a lot on Bravo. All right, I'm going to take one last caller and then I got to go because I got appointments. Amy, what's going on?
Hey,
Hey.
okay. Everything that first the caller just said, I was saying thing. I was like, isn't the whole reason why they don't like Quad because they think Quad acts too big for her britches?
Mm,
Like, like she's just too above what she needs to be on, the level she needs to be on. And I
yeah.
think a lot of them want to befriend Quad because of her beauty and what she brought to their table. But ultimately, they never really cared for Quad. But the reason what kept them from doing what they really would do in real life is the fans loved Quad.
Mm,
So like even when they had put her in that room, they were like, you're voted off the island.
mm,
They really that was how they really felt about Quad, right? They
mm-hmm.
wanted her out. They wanted her gone. And they did it in the most humiliating way possible. But the internet did what the internet does. Oh my God, they're mean girls. How dare
Yup.
you? And then they completely like, well, wait a minute. We're not that mean. We
Mm-hmm.
love Quad. So now when I see CT, I'm like, I still don't think it's right. Sweet Tea really thought they genuinely wanted. I'm like, no, they really just don't see it for anybody who's not in their little orbit. They just don't see it for
Or
them.
an
It's
actual
nothing.
doctor.
Yes, basically, if you're not a doctor or if you're not like kissing their foot because they are a doctor, they really don't see it for you. So
Mm,
at the end of the day, I feel like maybe because she's in her 30s, maybe she missed out on the first, maybe she had a life and wasn't watching, no shade. Because I love like Married to Medicine, but it's like my generation are really into the soap opera reality shows.
mm-hmm.
So maybe she wasn't really privy to what they did to Quad and how much they were against Quad and wanting her to kiss the ring, and it just never happened for them. I
Mm,
don't think they see it for her and they don't want her on the show now. But at the end of the day, if she's not there, if they don't have an antagonist they can just mess with, if
yeah.
Quad's not there,
Mm,
we're just left with these dull personalities that have nothing for us other than, oh, my medical advice for this. And we all know it's fake because we saw Mrs. What's her name, talk with Heavily, and she said we were all pretending to be in pain. So a lot of us don't really, they don't see even for their clients or even for Black women based off what she said.
mm,
So what do we have for the show outside of them hazing people who are new? And if anyone has common sense, they just wouldn't do it. Like no one has time to be doing this in their big old age, trying to kiss doctors' butts. Hello, don't you have a staff for that?
oh.
I'm just no shade. Like, don't you have don't they have like whole businesses where people can kiss their butts all day? So my thing is like I just don't think that anyone would work well or gel well with their staff until they just get rid of a couple of them, and really like restructure what Married to Medicine means. It could be a nurse, it could be like informatics, it could be because I'm
Mm,
working in a hospital too, and I have to be honest with you, their personalities are very much like that.
mm,
And you can kiss their butts all day, and the only thing that keeps them from being completely out of whack is the shame of what the public would say about an arrogant social path like that.
yup.
No shade. So
It's
that's all I
true.
can say.
It's true. I mean, I feel like I don't know, maybe because I know people in the medical world and things like that. I just feel like that's always been there. I don't think it's highlighted or talked about enough. And I think that's what Married to Medicine needs. What you guys have been saying, they need to shake it up, not just with
Hmm.
bringing other doctors on, but you're married to medicine. Medicine is not just doctors.
Yeah, and the thing is what they are afraid of is the public seeing their real face. Every time Quad showed the world that these women have issues with just accepting other people outside of their orbit,
Hmm.
they always back down. And every time they had an opportunity to throw someone under the bus based off of their beliefs of who belongs in this group,
Yeah.
it never works out for them. That's the only thing that's keeping them from doing it. But Sweet Tea, no one really likes you. Let's be honest, you came with the villain. I mean, no one likes Greg. Like no one likes him. Like he was not a good husband. I don't care that Quad is a diva. He is a butthole. So you're not gonna get people to like you. So they're gonna act out every
Amy
single
is reading
fantasy that
today.
they want of you. Huh?
That's what you're reading today.
No, I'm just saying that no one likes him. So like you bring with the villain. No one wants to like no one's gonna protect you or help you when it comes to him. You just need to back out and move on and let these women be miserable by themselves. No shade.
Yeah. All right,
So
Amy.
I mean, that is what it is. That's
Thank
the
you.
best one thing.
Thank you for
Have a
calling
nice.
in.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye. Right. Bap says, I think sometimes these shows reach their expiration date. And I think we should normalize normalize ending a show at the top. But these suits, they don't think that way. They think this is bringing me millions of dollars. We're not ending the show. Of course, Danielle's got to be different and says, "Oh, I love Dr. Greg. You don't like Dr. Greg. What the hell you like about Dr. Greg?" I'm sorry. All right, I'm going to take one more caller. Jess, what did you want to share in regards to our conversation on Married to Medicine and the reunion and Phaedra not showing up?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey, you sound low.
Oh, am I?
Are you speaking on your headphones?
No, it's the iPad.
Mm-mm.
I know, my bad. Sorry.
It's
Can you
okay.
hear me better now?
Say it now.
Can you hear me better now?
A little bit.
Oh, well, what I was gonna say is that I feel like Sweet Tea, I feel like honestly, she did start the issue with Quad because when she came on the show, she was doing a house tour and she basically said that she wanted to like exorcise all the demons out the house, all the bad energy and everything. And she did post that. And Quad actually mentioned it on the trip that they had with just the girls.
Mm,
And when she responded to and basically like it was a thing where they edited out, and I think that honestly, that's the issue with this show is that they're always editing things out because I do find out much of it on Dr. Heavenly's Patreon. And I remember I asked her, like, why is it that, like, most people aren't really talking to Sweet Tea this season? And she said that she honestly can't keep her hands to herself because, like, Toya, because she put her hands on Toya, like, she's always, like, bumping into people. She's always, like really handsy with how she acts towards them. And
oh,
from then on, it was like, well, Toya and Simone, they started to kind of distance themselves because she's always putting her hands on everyone in a way where we kind of saw it with her sister last season, how she
oh,
was like, really aggressive with her.
oh.
And I do think that she kind of plays to the audience because I think what she wants right now is like a quad moment where she basically like has like all the fans rally behind her. But in reality, it's like last season she was on the other side of that. And I noticed that she sort of like plays this victim card
Mm,
because the things that I see shade before like most people even say it. Like she kind of like makes it seem as if like, I'm able to say these things, but no one could say anything to me. What Dr.
mm,
Heavenly was saying was that if she was to notice that she had different reproductive issues and things like that, wouldn't that be a sign towards not being able to like, have issues with conceiving? That's what Dr. Heavenly said. And so she's been kind of like, putting out these notions that Dr. Heavenly attacked her facility and all that and everything like that. And I do think that it is kind of dangerous. And I think that also with Dr. Gregory and him pressing charges on King and everything in the restraining order, I think he did that to make him stop filming. He did that to kind of get him away from filming and try to like make them be the only ones on the show. And so ultimately the cast has had to choose between Quad and Sweet Tea. And of course they chose Quad because they have more history with her. I
mm,
think Dr. Gregory, he was more enjoyable when he was with Quad because in those earlier seasons when Quad used to throw him birthday parties and everything like that, he kind of seemed like more fun,
mm,
like but now he got kind of seems a little bit more like age. Well, he did age, of course, but it's like I do kind of notice that like some people they like him because they hate Quad. And I think that that's what people need to kind of realize is that, like, maybe you're not a big fan of Sweet Tea, maybe you're a Mariah fan, and you transfer your love for someone towards a person that the person's against. So I
mm,
do think that people kind of have to like reevaluate, like, do they actually like Sweet Tea on this show, or is it just that you're trying to build her up to become this like reality star that goes against the whole cast
mm,
because you don't like the whole cast, you like Mariah. So that's what I
mm.
kind of noticed.
Okay. Thank you, Jess, for calling in.
No problem.
Bye. All right, let me get to some of these sweet chats, super chats. But first, Logan says, "I'm surprised that they see it for Heavenly because she's a dentist, and how she said it was, how it was so divided between medical doctors while in school. They didn't see it for Dr. Heavenly originally. They made comments when she first started as well." Maria says, "Dr. Jackie's husband isn't likable either." I saw a random video about DR and people investing in DR and um the benefits of investing in DR. So I was like, I thought of Dr. Jackie's husband Curtis. I was like, oh, that's why he's there. Okay. Thank you so much, CC Mama, for the super chat. CC Mama says they need to add a new city. Also, they can be the OGs and they can have a new city with younger people with young families. I volunteer myself for the DMV. They did try with Married to Medicine LA. I believe they were definitely looking. I think Dr. Alicia was being considered for the DMV version of what they were doing, and that didn't happen. You would think, based off of this show, medicine is everywhere. They should have been able to successfully start other cities, very much like Real Housewives. I'm not sure why it just didn't happen, but it should have been. Do you think that Andy Cohen put a kibosh on it? Like he set them up for failure? It just crossed my mind because remember he has the competing franchise on the show, but not competing, but you get what I'm saying. I don't understand why that wasn't successful or why they didn't try again in other cities. All right. People be peopling. Love that name. Thank you for the super chat. People be peopling says, I love your callers. They're on one today. Our callers are not on one. They just speak their truth. All right. And if you missed it, we had our callers with me and Taria yesterday talking about Carlos King. Be sure to check out that video if you missed it. And don't forget, I will be live this evening, probably like 9 p.m. Eastern. Let me give myself some time. 9 p.m. Eastern, recapping your Valentine's Day, recapping the best, the worst, the ugly dating stories from Valentine's Day or more. This is your show. So stay tuned for that tonight. Make sure you're subscribed. Shout out to our King's Guards in the building. Shout out to our channel members. Shout out to our sponsor, Factor Meals. And side chicks, you can still get a little something this Valentine's Day from Rose Forever. Head on over to the description. All right. Thank you to our subscribers as well. We appreciate you. And thank you to our callers. We appreciate you guys. I will see you all in the next one. Everyone have a great rest of your Valentine's Day. And don't be too in your feelings today. Go do something for yourself. Make it a self-care day. I should do that. Anyways, I'll see you guys later on this evening. Thank you all for being here. I will see you later. Here
we go now.